This is Johnny Tremain, chapters 8 through 9. First of all, for characterization, we're actually not going to go over Johnny this time. We are going to go over his foils and compare and contrast some of them that basically show the choices Johnny has as he's growing into manhood of, ways he can react to his situation, to his setting, as we call it in a book. We have Mr. Light versus Rab. Okay, Mr. Light, when a little bit of turmoil came his way because the people, were going to give him a little trouble for being a Tory, he had an anxiety attack, and the doctor said, oh, we can't upset him, and he has to just avoid any sort of conflict. Then we have Rab, who is ready to risk death for all of mankind, and is, just ready to handle things. You've got Lavinia versus Scylla. And Lavinia is haughty and beautiful externally. And Scylla is, instead of being haughty, she is loving and she's intelligent and, that sort of thing. Friendly, social, okay? So those choices. Then you have Stranger versus Pumpkin. Both of these guys are British soldiers of some form. And Stranger is, definitely keeps his class distinctions, whereas Pumpkin is more of a lower class guy, and so he is ready to kind of do things more the American way. Okay. All right. All of these things are kind of, these people literally symbolize either Britain's ways or the new colonies' ways. And you could turn back to that slide and make yourself a little chart very simply of, oh, this one represents Britain, this one represents the new colonies. Also, objects in our story represent Britain or new colonies. The silver cup and the family tree both represent British ways. And we see Johnny, probably the climax of the book here, leaving the cup behind and burning the family tree. And this symbolizes he's cutting ties with Britain and their ways. Okay? He's not on a quest for power and money, and also his ways with the lights. He does not like classism. He wants to, work and be able to be what he is from who he is as an actual person, not from his bloodline, basically. And we see him exchanging this biological family and their ways for Rab's family. We notice that he's giving all of his money to Rab's aunt to buy food and things, and he is choosing the way of these guys who are fighting for freedom for all versus the Light family, who are just trying to basically maintain their own power, prestige, and comforts. And he's rejecting that and instead going for the guys that are fighting with word and now with gun for rights of all humanity. Okay? And also so represented here is British ways, And the quote that puts it best is, "No, I'm better off without it. I want nothing of them, neither their blood," which, is that family tree, "nor their silver." Okay? And it made me a little nervous. Burned up that family tree. I don't know, that may come back. We'll see. But anyway, he wants to do things the American way, make his own way. Okay, foreshadowing. Okay, we've got, these are literary techniques, and we have Otis, when he's giving his speech, he turns directly to Rab and says, "Some will give their lives, all the years of their maturity, all the children they never lived to have, the serenity of old age. To die so young is more than merely dying. It is to lose so large a part of life." Unfortunately, I think this is sort of foreshadowing that we're looking right at Rab when this happens. And I really like the way this author puts this. To die so young is more than merely dying. It is to lose so large a part of life. And as a young man, I want you to think about that the choices that you make. If it is something that is somewhat dangerous, is this worth dying for, especially at your age when, it's just so sad because, you have lost all of the future, all of those children, all of the, seeing what you could do for the world as an adult. Okay. And we talked about the motif of the rising sun with the lights. In the last chapters, we saw that the people of Boston were tired of that rising sun. And here we have, and the strange new sun rising in the west, a sun that was to illumine the world to come. And remember, our country is called the New World, and it really was. We've got it. So here is a motif. We've got the symbol, and now we have a new sun coming up in the west. That's going to be a light to the whole world of a new way, of self basically. Okay. So once again, we're back to Otis's speech. This is the best statement of the theme of the entire book. We give all we have: lives, property, safety, skills. We fight, we die for a simple thing, only that a man can stand up. Okay, now, so how are we going to get this, that a man can stand up? Well, then we've got another quote here. There shall be no more tyranny. A handful of men cannot seize power over thousands. A man shall choose who it is shall rule over him. Okay, and so this was a big different part of our country, that the people choose who will rule over them, and it will not be a reign of terror. It's going to be for the good of the people, so that all men, women, children can stand up, okay, can choose to do what they want to do. Okay, an example is a stranger was in the old, wait, I put the wrong name. This should say Pumpkin. Pumpkin doesn't want much. He wanted to just have a plot of land to farm, and he ended up losing his life under the British system that said, no, you will do what we say you will do, which is be a soldier and never have that sort of thing. So that's kind of an example of how you can't stand up under the old system. You can't do the thing. Okay. Things to talk about. This is a totally different topic, but interwoven in here was the relationship between Johnny and Scylla. And talk to your parents a little bit about how that relationships never seem to stand completely still. And here we had, I thought it was so funny. So he gets this apple and he says, hey, it may ripen into something better, or it may rot away. But he knows relationships don't stay the same; they change. But the funny thing was, then Rab ate the apple, and Rab was also interested in Scylla, and at that point Johnny didn't realize it, but also sort of trying taking her out a little bit and different things like that. So. Anyways, our human relations and even our relations to God, you can't just neglect them. They don't stay the same. You must constantly be putting into them, or, they're going to be rotten. Okay? For our thinking activity, I just want you to simply read through these list of questions and you maybe write or think about yourself in these aspects. Do you treat anyone as a second-class human? Or is there in a certain setting that you do? Like, maybe you have let's say a little brother who just thinks the world of you, but when you get to Scouts or something, then in that setting, you treat them as a second-class human. Okay? Let's think about that and need to repent of that and realize we need to allow everyone to stand up. Okay? Are you attracted to external or internal beauty? Okay? This will get you in major trouble. Okay? Look for the internally beautiful people. and form relationships with them. Okay? Are you working to advance yourself, to get ahead, or is there some noble cause behind what you do? Okay? If you do have what you feel like is a noble cause, besides just, trying to keep yourself where you want yourself, how shallow is it? Is it more money? Is it, whatever? Or is it that something that will affect all of society or maybe even the world, equality, justice, that a man can stand up type things? And that's all.